Hello, viewers. My name is IELTS Bishop, and I'm going to be taking you on IELTS reading today, specifically on true, false, not given questions. And if you're meeting me for the first time, click on my like, share, and subscription button so that you can be getting my updates. All right. So, in true, false, not given questions, you are expected to agree, disagree, or to say that a particular statement which is made on a question is not given. All right. So that is the same with yes, no, not given. All of them follow the same pattern. So today we are going to be talking about those things you should know in order to answer these questions correctly. When you have 10 questions, true, false, not given, you'll be able to get at least 9 over 10. All right. So the first thing you need to do when you are given this question is to read the instructions. Automatically, the instruction is true, false, not given. And in given these answers, you must write your answers in full. There is nothing like true as T. You must write it TRUE. If it is yes, it is YES. If it's false, it's FALSE. If it is no, it is NO. And not given should be not given, not NG. All right. So you stick to the instruction. All right. The second one is to read the question properly. Once you read the question and understand the question, now what you need to bring out from the question is to pick out the names of the items, the nouns there. They are very, very important because they are going to help you in your speed reading, or what people might call skimming. All right. In picking the nouns, because some of our students usually would go back and be picking the keywords. The keywords are good, but they are not very important in this. These keywords in this case is so narrowed down into nouns. Okay, and now once you've done this and you've read the question, go to the passage, do your speed reading. Once you've done your speed reading and you spotted out those nouns, you are going to do what we call detailed reading. So it is speed reading and detailed reading, or what you call skimming and scanning. All right. So, but before we actually deal with questions proper, I need to give you this tip, which as an African, as whoever you are that is not a native speaker of English, you'll be able to understand what this true, false, not given is all about. See it as color. They are talking about color. Now, let me give you an instance. If a statement is made like this, Mr. Okeke has a black phone, or Mr. Francis has a black phone. Now, that is a statement, and you are going to check whether it is a fact, whether it is true, whether it is not true, whether it is yes, whether it is not yes. All right. So once you've heard this question, you've gotten this question, the question, you are going to pick Mr. Okeke and phone. So you go to the passage. Anytime they are talking, any part of the passage that is talking about Mr. Okeke and is talking about phone, when you've gotten those 2 points, you need to calm your nerve down and read in details. Now, if Mr. Okeke's phone is being mentioned there, but they are just saying Mr. Okeke's phone is quite very old, or is the first generation type of phone, and nothing is said about color, that means that information is not given. Except when on that passage, they are not just saying Mr. Okeke's phone is an old model phone, but as well, it is a yellow colored phone. If they mention the word yellow, it means color has also been mentioned. So you go back to the passage. If Mr. Okeke's phone is mentioned in the in the question, you go back to the question, and if Mr. Okeke's phone is mentioned to be black and the passage says it is yellow, it is false. the problem most of our students had then was when Mr. Keke's phone is mentioned in the question as black, and they saw yellow in the passage, they will say it is not given. Why? Because they feel, or they felt, that once we say black, we should be looking where either they mention black in the passage or they should say white, so that they will say it is opposite. It is not. We are not looking for opposite in meaning. We are looking for something that talks about the same thing, but in a different way. If it talks about the same thing, but in a different way, it means it is false. Just use color to always explain that to yourself. Okay? So if the color is mentioned and it is opposite, or it is different from what is mentioned in the question, it is false. But if it is the same with what is mentioned in the question, it is true. But if color is not mentioned at all, it is not given. Even though phone has been mentioned, but color is not mentioned, because that is always the confusion there. All right, so we're going to look at a question that will help us to understand true, false, not given, because we don't have a lot of time. All right, so let's look at this passage right now. If we look at this passage in the question, well, let's look at the question first. If we look at this question, the question says, let's look at, okay, you've seen the question. The question says, in the Middle Ages, most Europeans knew where nutmeg was grown. That is a statement. The question is it true? Is it false? Or is it not given? Now, like I told you, you are going to underline those nouns and do your speed reading. Middle Ages is time, so it is a name of a time. It is a time. So Middle Ages, Europeans, and nutmeg. I'm going to go with these three gentlemen: Europeans, nutmeg, and the Middle Ages. So we go to the passage and do a speed reading. Let's go to the passage right now. Okay, in the passage, the first paragraph, in the first paragraph, okay, is I've seen nutmeg, but I've not seen Middle Ages and Europeans. I'm looking for Europeans. In the first paragraph, blah 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 blah. I've not been able to see that. In second paragraph, I can see nutmeg. I can see European, but this time they say European cuisine. In the Middle Ages, I'm seeing two. I'm seeing three. Although we have something a bit different, but since we've already seen nutmeg, European, and Middle Ages, I'm going to relax now and do what I call my detailed reading. You're going to relax and do your detailed reading. If you can see what I'm doing here, it means I've just shown you that all these things I've highlighted shows that we are going to read everything here. You are going to do a detailed reading. Okay, the question says that in the Middle Ages, most Europeans knew where nutmeg was grown. Do they? Let's say, or did they? All right. Now let's read. Let's read together. Nutmeg was a highly prized and costly ingredient in European cuisine in the Middle Ages and was used as a flavoring, medicinal, and preservative agent. Throughout this period, the Arabs were the exclusive importers of this spice to Europe. They sold nutmeg for high prices to merchants based in Venice, but they never revealed the exact location. Arabs were selling it, but they never revealed the exact location of the source of this extremely valuable commodity. So the question says, in the Middle Ages, and they've mentioned Middle Ages, Most Europeans knew where nutmeg was grown, and they are saying that Arabs were the exclusive importers, and they never revealed importers of this spice to Europe. They never revealed it. So, and they are saying they know where they knew where these things were grown. So it means they don't. It is false. It is false. So the color was mentioned. The color was mentioned, but this time around, it is not black. It is yellow. So we say it is false. So we'll pick the word. We'll pick the answer to number 5 as false. Can we look at the second question? The second question says, the VOC was the world's first major trading company. Now, we are going to pick the word VOC and trading company. From when we pick it, we will know whether it is the first or the last. Okay? All right. So let's go down. Let's go down because we didn't see the VOC in the first and second paragraph. So let's go to the blah, 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 blah. Any VOC and trading company. I'm looking for VOC. Yes, I've seen VOC. It says in 1602. So the question again says the VOC was the world's first major trading company. Let's see whether it is true or not. They say in 1602, Dutch merchants founded the Okay. What I would do is to do a detailed reading. In 1602, Dutch merchants founded the VOC, a trading corporation better known as Dutch East Indian Company. We are looking whether it's the first, whatever, first. Okay, by 1617, the VOC was the richest. They say richest. They didn't mention time. Commercial operation in the world. The company had 50,000 employees worldwide, with a private army of 30,000 men and a fleet of 200 ships. At the same time, thousands of people across Europe were dying of the plague, a highly contagious and deadly disease. Doctors were desperate for a way to stop the spread of this disease, and they decided nutmeg. Nutmeg held the cure. Everybody wanted nutmeg, and many were willing to spare no expense to have it. Nutmeg bought for a few pennies in Indonesia could be sold for 68,000 times its original cost of streets of London. The only problem was the short supply, and that's where the Dutch found their opportunity. Okay, so from what you've seen here, from what I can see and what you can see, it didn't tell us that VOC was the first company. It mentioned VOC, just like I told you about color. VOC was mentioned, but instead of talking about the time, that we are talking about being the richest. So it is not the color that was mentioned. Something else was mentioned. So they didn't discuss about the time. So I'm bringing this color thing, juxtaposing it with what we are seeing in the passage. The time was not mentioned, and something else was mentioned. So because time was not mentioned, we can't say it is there. Therefore, it is not given. Specifically, it is not given. Okay? To be very specific, it's not given. All right. So let's look at the third question. It says, following the Treaty of Breda, the Dutch had control of all the island where nutmeg grew. Dutch. I'm going to underline Treaty of Breda, Dutch, and nutmeg. So let's go down and see if we will find Treaty of Breda. Treaty of Breda. Now, they say the Banda Island. No, it's not treaty. We are ruled, blah, blah, blah. No. Treaty, Dutch. I've seen Dutch. I've seen nutmeg again. I've not seen treaty. I've seen two. Once I see treaty seems so pronounced, seems so loud. Banda. No, not Banda. I'm not talking about Banda. Okay. I've seen Treaty of Breda. I just hope this will allow me to highlight it. What's wrong with this guy? Good. Okay, so I've seen Treaty of Breda. I've seen Dutch. Okay. I've seen Dutch. I've seen Nutmeg. This is Treaty of Breda, where my cursor is now. I've seen Dutch here, and I've seen Nutmeg. So what I would do is better to read more than to read less when you see where your answer is. What I will do now is I will underline this guy. I will highlight this guy. So that's it. I will start from in addition, whatever, or whatever the case may be. And the question said, following the Treaty of Breda, the Dutch had control of all the island where Nutmeg. Okay, they say in addition, all the exports, I'm starting from in addition, all exports Nutmeg was covered with lime to make sure that there was no chance of a fertile seed. Oh, no. Okay, let's go down to Treaty of Breda. It said, after decades of fighting, can you see where I am now? After the British, okay. After decades of I highlighted more, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. After decades of fighting for control of this tiny island, the Dutch and British arrived at a compromise settlement, the Treaty of Breda, in 1667. Intent on securing their hold over every nutmeg producing island, the Dutch offered a trade. If the British would give them the island of Ron, they would in turn give Britain a distant and much less valuable island in North America. The British agreed. So, can you see that? The British agreed. So, these guys are offered the British another land in North America, and they agreed, so that Dutch will have a kind of monopoly. Because the question says, following the Treaty of Breda, the Dutch had control of all the island where not say the other island was Manhattan, which is now New Amsterdam. Amsterdam became New York. The Dutch now had a monopoly over the nutmeg trade, which would last for another century. You see, now, because they offered these guys another this thing, and they all had control, the Dutch had control, so it means it is true. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. I believe this will really help you to understand true, false, not giving. And please share my videos, like it, comment, and if you want me to do more videos, or there's something you want me to, address for you, questions, any type of question, just do that on this comment section. Thank you very much. Bye.